My topic today is shark culling, which most of you may not be familiar with unless you're a surfer or a shark fan. The term shark culling refers to killing and capturing certain types of sharks that we see as a threat, which would include great whites or tiger sharks. Drum lines are baited hooks that are used to lure and capture sharks. So I'll be referring to drum lines a lot. Shark culling has been used for many years, but was recently made more aware from the West Australian government, which implemented a drumline policy in 2014 in response to a series of shark-related incidents. Despite the negative backlash, this led to discontinuing the policy after just 3 months, and even with the negative backlash, the government still believes that shark culling was a success. So in many places, it's still used as shark mitigation, including places like Queensland, where over 600 sharks are culled a year. So that brings me to my major claim, which is that shark culling is ineffective means for shark mitigation, causing more harm than it does good. And I'll be proving this claim true by claiming that 1, shark culling fails to prevent the number of shark-related incidents. 2, the outcome of shark culling is harmful for the ocean ecosystem and marine life. And 3, non-target marine life is also captured in shark nets and drum lines. So shark culling fails to prevent the number of shark-related incidents. A CNN article reported that 98 shark-related incidents occurred last year, which is 26 more than the previous year, which is 40 more than the 10 years before that. This means that shark attacks are increasing exponentially. What shark cull supporters fail to realize is that the number of shark-related incidents is not increasing because there are more sharks in the sea. According to the same CNN source and National Geographic article, we are seeing more shark-related incidents simply because our population is growing and because we're spending more time in the ocean. It's also important to note that this policy never actually caught any great white sharks, which is its primary target. And another thing is that there are more efficient ways to mitigate sharks, and some that have been proven to work in some beaches is tracking and monitoring, or rigid barriers, or the clever buoy, which is a new device that detects sharks within a 300-mile radius. So, as you can see, the shark culling hasn't prevented shark attacks, but there are better alternatives out there. Second, the outcome of shark culling is more harmful for the ocean ecosystem and marine life. Killing sharks endangers the shark species, of course. As an example, the drumline policy enforced that sharks over 3 meters were shot and killed as soon as they were caught. They claim to have only killed 50 out of the 172 that were caught, but in the rest, they prided themselves that they were released alive. But these statistics are misleading because many of these sharks didn't have the capability or strength to survive on their own. In Hawaii, who's been using drum lines for over 18 years, they've killed over 4,500 tiger sharks within 18 years. So as you can see, it is an endanger to our shark species. And this is so critical because sharks play a critical role in maintaining a healthy balance in our ecosystem because they're the top of the food chain, and they regulate and control populations and health in the ocean. My third claim is that non-target marine life is also captured in shark nets and drum lines, and this causes harm because, and it also shows that it's not effective. And shark nets and drum lines have killed or harmed many marine life, including whales, turtles, dolphins, dugongs, rays, and non-target sharks, according to the Humane Society. And the number is well over 14,000 marine animals who have been caught in these shark nets or drum lines. And an example of this is a video footage that I saw of a baby dolphin who was stuck in a drum line and was being kept alive only by its mother basically popping, like pushing him to the surface so that he could breathe. And you can see this footage. This footage went viral on YouTube. And another point is that many of these animals are protected species. So in conclusion, shark culling programs are ineffective because they don't actually prevent shark attacks, and they are doing more harm to our ecosystem. And that's it.
Okay, the proposition has multiple parts to it, and that really should be what the secondary structure is for, so you want to simplify that main proposition. You did preview the secondary points pretty clearly, so that helps quite a bit. On your first argument that they failed to work, your data on this simply talks about how the number of shark attacks has been increasing, but it doesn't show that that means that this policy is not working. You have an explanation about why the shark attacks have been increasing, and you say it's got nothing to do with the sharks and everything to do with people using the oceans more, and I'm going, okay, so where's the proof on that? I would, if you've got a 17% increase or you've got this geometric increase that's going on, we should have that many more people in the oceans, and that should create the problem. So where's the data on that? That seems a little bit thin on that particular point. You know, the notion that the shark cull is or is not working. It's obviously it stopped after a year in Australia, but it sounds like it's continuing in Hawaii. So the question is, do the Hawaiians, who apparently use this technique, find it to be effective? Most of your argument seems to center around you know, the other part of the world, Australia and Queensland, where those kinds of things, you know, I don't know what their policies are. I don't know how you measure those things, and some of the data that you present is a little ambiguous. I thought the information that you had about Hawaii was a little bit more direct, but there wasn't that much about it. So I think you probably need to develop that part of the argument a little bit more. There's a big presupposition in the second point that sharks are important to the ocean. I'm not saying that they aren't. I know that there are plenty of arguments that talk about how they are necessary, but the idea that you lost 172 sharks down in Australia and 4,500 sharks over the number of years, whatever it was, 20 years that you had in Hawaii, that doesn't sound to me like it's the kind of impact that it would have on the ocean biosphere that would be problematic. Now, it might be a combination of other things that also creates that problem, but I think you have to give us some more information to believe that that is particularly dangerous. On the other point that other marine animals are involved in this process, I don't think there's probably much denying that it's likely other animals are going to be involved, but now the question becomes, is that collateral damage significant? Is it harmful? Is it how big a problem is it? You've got a nice emotional appeal about the baby dolphin whose mom keeps lifting it up so it can breathe, but I don't know what the dolphin population is. I don't know how many get lost as a result of the shark cull by accident, you know, and so at best I've got you know, this single example which has a pretty strong emotional pull to it. You know, and I would imagine that the people in Hawaii would be pointing at the armless surfer or the dead surfer and say, well, you know what, there wasn't anybody to lift them up there because the sharks ate them. So we need to do something about that also. So if you're going to make that contrast, you have to make it a little bit more forcefully. All right, thank you.